identify problem flyers from the control room.
You're sitting here, you're grading the student on how his body's moving, how he's flying inside the tunnel.
You're arching too much from the chest, okay? See how your arms
Instructor critiques are used in tandem with video of the rides.
What you want to happen.
The result is a highly personalized training.
And you keep pushing like that. That's what's going to put you into a real hard spin, okay? You're not confined to one area, so then
he's telling you to do things, and you're like, that's what I'm doing. And then when they show the video, I think that's the only way they could show you that this is what you're doing. You're actually not doing what I'm telling you to do.
You got the ape hangers going on, all right? You get your arms at 90 degrees, flying like a condor there, mother eagle.
I've already earned the nickname Condor just from having my arms cupped and creating lift right here in my chest area and sending me up out of the tunnel.
So they start making fun of him. they like start to sweeping his arms.
The first one is the Bruce Lee. You know, they're in there chopping, and then there's Mark Spitz, and he'll get in there and swim and kick, and the reaching for stuff. You know, someone will get called the tomahawk because they'll go in the tunnel and right out the other side.
Instructors use a student break to hone their own flying skills. Free fall is about wind deflection. Push the wind off to the left, you move right, and vice versa.
When you're sitting in the cone, you can feel the wind just blow across your body. And when you like turn one way and you change the angle of the plane, you can just basically feel the airflow going across you. A little bit of change can make a big difference in that tunnel.
When novices fly, they mainly use arms and hands like airplane flaps to maneuver in the air. Instructors make greater use of their legs, which have twice the surface area.
It's a real art to be able to control your body and make it move through the air, because jumping's not a natural act.
On his second and third rides, Corey Paul continues to struggle with a slow spin.
You know, it's like I could see my hands and see where my hands needed to be. But then lower extremity, my legs, you know, I had no clue.
Kind of frustrating for me because I couldn't feel some of the things they were telling me I was doing wrong. You know, I'm trying to make a conscious effort to whatever instructor tells me, that's what I focus on. You know, so they really didn't have a hand and arm signal for, hey, bud, you're moving your torso, you know, keep it rigid.
Flying in a wind tunnel is supposed to be a lot more difficult, you know, than...
Corey Paul, one of the few trainees based at Fort Bragg, is able to go home at night to share his wind tunnel troubles with his wife, Delaney.
You know, he's nervous because of the high altitude. I don't believe he's ever jumped that high before without the static line. On the flip side of that, he's very excited. He likes a challenge. He likes the thrill, the adrenaline rush.
That's to check your feet, make sure you have positive legs, like if you bring your feet in too far or...
I mean, she's my best friend, you know, by all means, hands down. Having that type of relationship really, you know, makes it easier. You know what I'm saying?
Let's relax. Saw that one a lot.
It's never, okay, well, I've done this and now I'm done. He's always seeking out new things that he can do, accomplish, conquer, and experience. He's really about the experience. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. And he's very high speed and gives it his all. He really does. He gives it his all and puts his whole heart into everything he does.
Try to relax the hands.
Day 3 of military freefall school in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Trainees are in the gym learning the fine art of parachute packing. Marine instructor Rick Schindler puts students through their paces using 30-minute drills. They have just 4 days to perfect this skill before their first real jump.
One of the hardest parts is getting the canopy in the bag. The black bag, the deployment bag. If they trash it up and they just jamming it in the bag, then you get a bag of poopy, you know, of bad words. It's important that the parachute come out of the bag uniformly. You know, you want to ask these guys, would you jump this parachute? Here.
That's what's going to pull it on the bag of grommet.
Students are responsible for their main parachute. The reserve chute inside their rig is packed by parachute riggers.
All right, full cutaway handle, release.
If the main fails, the trainee will release it and immediately deploy his reserve. The procedure is called a cutaway.
You're saving your life every time you leave that plane. You have 2 chances to do it, a main and reserve. I mean, things could go wrong all the time.
Given the dangers, parachute packing must be a precise craft. The first step is to trace the length of each line to eliminate knots and tangles. Doug Homus is a Naval Special Ops rigger and is one of the few students already adept at folding 370 square feet of nylon into a 12-inch deployment bag. To flake the parachute, Homus stacks a series of 7 compartments. Proper packing ensures these cells will fill with air quickly and evenly in flight, making the chute rigid like a wing. Air pockets are the enemy of a well-packed rig, and a full body press is the best method to push them out. Some say getting the chute in the deployment bag is akin to stuffing a comforter in a wallet. Homus secures the lines neatly with rubber bands, known as stows. If these lines do not come off the bag in a uniform way, the parachute could malfunction. Being in Special Ops and at freefall school has fulfilled a dream for Homus and his family.
My father, growing up, always had big expectations because he never got to go to college. He never got to do a lot of things. The best way I could say it is he's living vicariously through everything that I do. Because every time I do something, he always calls me and tells me how proud he is of me.
Jason Self struggles with the final step of the timed exercise as the temperature in the gym climbs beyond 100 degrees.
Before you get too far, I'd put that pin through that AR square cable the way it's supposed to be. That could be kind of tricky later on. There you go. Just leave it there. Oh, you're screwed now. The cord's getting a little sweaty, isn't it? Yeah. Don't that suck? It's leverage.
I was about 10 seconds from being done on time this time.
Back in the vertical wind tunnel, the training intensifies and the gear load increases with each ride. A parachute and a 40-pound rucksack make body stabilization much more difficult. On actual combat teams, Halo jumpers routinely fly with 150 pounds of equipment and weaponry.
You guys know how to jock it up? Okay, step down into the rucksack, and then just lean back, take the 2 straps, attach them to your D-rings. Snug them up, stand up, we'll give you a check. Don't get it so high that you can't arch. You don't want that pack tray in that rucksack binding up.
Airman Adam Mulson is one of the youngest class members and has been dubbed the Natural since his first ride. He's ahead of the curve in both stability and in in-flight maneuvers.
I thought it would be pretty hard at first because I was seeing guys in there just like tossing and turning around. But it takes different people at different times to, get used to it. But I thought it was really fun.
Class leader Brian Kabawag has taken his instructor's advice. He's relaxed, and today his flight is steady.
They've gotten 45 minutes of free fall, which is about equivalent to 50 or so jumps. So when they first exit the airplane at Yuma for the first time, the issue is not whether I know how to fly my body. It's mostly about courage. It's mostly about commitment to get out of the plane, to overcome your fear, to conquer what's going to happen.
It's the end of the last day in the wind tunnel, and Army Sergeant Brian Kabawag looks forward to taking military freefall training to the next level.
I love what I do. I just love what I do, man. I like the adrenaline rush. Having guys shoot close to you, blowing things up. Now, diving out of airplanes. It's just amazing what your body can do and how you can get over that fear.
Day 6 of military freefall school. Captain Jason Self and fellow freefall trainees are packed and ready to leave Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay, Air Force does not have its own baggage handlers.
We got too many people, too many hands. Group 5 heavyweights, go away.
This could be bad. It seems the load has shifted somewhat.
Oh, no, that's going, dude.
So, Sergeant Stone, do you see adding pallet buildup to the course of training here at Fort Bragg?
It's already in there. You weren't you paying attention? You probably slept through the whole thing, didn't you?
I did. I missed out.
Military Freefall Class 0307 is headed for Yuma, Arizona, where students will perfect the art of Halo, a military freefall technique that inserts small special operations combat teams into precise locations around the globe. Transportation today, first class on an Air Force cargo plane with canvas seats and no air conditioning.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Yuma Proving Ground is located in the southwest corner of Arizona near the border with Mexico.
The post is here for Army test and evaluation. But for us, the great advantage is nearly unlimited airspace.
Well, first thing off the plane in Yuma, obviously, first thing I think of is I'm in the desert. I'm somewhere in Iraq or something. That's what the scenery looks like. And just desert around everywhere you look, and 103 degrees. So the temperature takes a little adjusting to. We've been waiting for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks in the course, waiting to do that first jump.
Another restaurant on the top of the hill, Cactus Cafe. If you are doing PT, you gotta have your shirt on. Navy guys, I don't care how sexy you are, leave your freaking shirt on when you run around main post. All right? Every single female on this post is the wife of or the daughter of someone who works here. Don't mess with them. All right? If you mess with my wife, you got to take her home with you. All right.
Adam Molson has aced every Air Force Special Operations school so far, and his performance in this course is no different.
It was good. Glad to be here. I'm looking forward to it, sure.
What?
To jumping. I guess on Thursdays, our first jump.
12:05, first jump. Adrenaline's already pumping, and it's still 48 hours away. I'm ready to see the Earth coming at me at 120 miles an hour.
The clear blue Arizona sky is about to become their schoolroom, where lessons are taught while plummeting rapidly toward Earth.
Not hard, Jess. Got your number on it. I'm gonna grab it. Get back on the bus.
Daily Terminal in Yuma, Arizona. Freefall trainees pick up the parachutes they will pack today and use tomorrow. They have just 24 hours left to prepare for their first military freefall jump.
This is the parachute we're going to jump in tomorrow. So everyone's taking their time on it, trying to do it perfectly, At a certain altitude, you pull your own parachute. My mom was pretty worried. She's like, well, what if you forget to pull it? Hopefully I won't forget,
Hard pull.
The group reviews again and again. 5 points of a pull sequence, 12 steps to perform a cutaway, and an endless list of potential malfunctions.
At a 6,000. Down to 5,000.
Army Special Forces soldier Brian Kabuag hangs in a suspended harness to practice what he'll do if his main parachute is faulty or fails to open.
You have pilot chute hesitation, the pilot chute doesn't come off, immediately go right into your emergency procedure. Go ahead and pull them for real. All right.
Go. Hands out, head up, feet up, knees up. Transition. If you come out like this, like an ST plunge, you're gonna hit the roller, the wind is gonna hit you right here.
And it's a barrage of information going through, especially about the last 2 hours, just procedure after procedure after procedure. But there's so many, because there's so many different things that can happen.
Also, you de-arch when you pull.
We use the phrase, feeding them with the fire hose. There's a lot of things that we teach them, a lot of things we push at them. There's classes every day, 12 to 14-hour work days. The heat is a killer by itself. We ask a lot of them. They come in the morning and they look like, oh God, another day, but they know they have to do it. At the end of the day, they're glad to be done, but they're so exhausted that most of them are just gonna go home and go to sleep.
Look, altimeter 6,000 feet. Check right, check center, check left. Altimeter check.
First jump jitters will mean a restless night for some. Back at his barracks, naval parachute rigger Doug Homus does some last-minute cramming.
I'm going to look for ripcord, grab ripcord, counter, pull, check over shoulder in case of malfunction, double check.
And it was pretty much each individual instructor assisted,
Army Ranger Corey Paul counts down the hours to his jump, knowing he never solved his spinning problem in the wind tunnel.
The parachute.
His wife Delaney cheers him on from the couple's home in Fort Bragg.
You're doing 3 different jumps tomorrow. Yeah. I'm anticipating this and that and thinking that, oh man, it's gonna be crazy, my stomach's gonna be in my throat the whole time, and that it's just gonna be, everything's gonna be a blur, and just kind of, oh my gosh. And then on top of that, I didn't fly as well as I wanted to in the tunnel. Yeah, it was kind of a little anxiety, like wow. Like I said, not scared, like oh my gosh, I don't want to do it. It was that was definitely the most sleepless night. I believe the first guys were going to exit right around like 5:30 or so.
Early morning in Yuma, Arizona, these 48 elite fighting men are on a quest to become military freefall warriors. And today, they take their first step off the ramp of a C-130 cargo plane.
Packing area is back here. Ensure you have your ID card,
Marine instructor Larry Carlson recites a list of emergency procedures, which he and the class will repeat word for word every day for the rest of the school.
Look, grab, arch, pull, throw away, check.
Much of the focus this morning is on parachutes. First, trainees recheck their pack job. Next, a parachute rigger inspects the whole rig.
I'm hoping I packed this parachute good.
Stand up.
What if something goes wrong? Remembering all your procedures, The actual jumping part is not like top of the list.
The air is charged with anticipation this morning, even for instructors.
I actually hate flying. I despise it. It scares the hell out of me. I don't feel safe unless I get off the ramp. A parachute on my back, is that weird or what? I can't stand flying.
Personally, every time I go up, I wonder, is the parachute going to open? I packed it, I got the reserve, packed my reserve, but I always wonder in the back of my mind.
Even though some of them might not show outwardly that they're nervous, they are really nervous. No big deal, it's first jump, they'll overcome it. But right now, they're thinking about all the things that we've talked about for the last week. And we hope that they can just think about one thing, but there's so many things that are running through their head.
Instructors recheck parachute rigs and inspect altimeters which gauge fall rate by sensing changes in air pressure. Automatic opening devices are set to deploy a jumper's parachute at 2,000 feet in an emergency. For Naval Special Ops rigger Doug Homus, anxiety is particularly high.
A good friend of mine, Michael Bearden, was a SEAL at Team 5, and he was killed in a parachuting accident. And I haven't jumped in a parachute since then. Turn right, 90. I was looking out the door saying, what am I doing here? And the person who helped me over the hump the most was Master Sergeant Rodney Hull.
5,000? Free fall? 6,000.
6,000, I'm gonna look. He was real help because he understood the situation, and he kind of talked me through it, and what made me feel real comfortable is the fact that he could look me right in the eye and just says, look, I'm right next to you. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You're gonna be fine.
Homus has reason to worry. This school is considered the riskiest in all of the military. Monuments to fallen freefall parachutists border the drop zone, and Daly Terminal is named for an instructor killed here in 1996.
All right, boys, this is where the fun begins. This is where they make songs about us. Like I'll tumble for you.
Instructors work hard to lighten the atmosphere for students facing their first freefall jump.
He says his mom's got the note in the mail right now.
Yeah, notes in the mail that please excuse Johnny from jumping today. He's allowed to cross the street on the green light.
At 6:35 a.m., a C-130 cargo plane pulls up outside Daly Terminal, and the first group of commandos moves out, ready to execute what they've learned over the past week.
This is it. Like I always say, they gave us all the tools. All we have to do now is use it.
Starting today, these troops will make 2 to 3 jumps a day for the next 13 days. Each jump will become more difficult. The ultimate goal for this training? Leap from an airplane at extremely high altitudes in groups with full combat equipment and oxygen. Free fall for a minute. Deploy chutes and fly as a group, then land together in a 50-meter radius, all in the dark of night. But today, they just have to get out of the plane.
Success for that first jump is leaving the airplane on their own power. And we're not going to push them out, but we'll never do that. They leave the airplane under their own power, and they pull at 4,000 feet. And that's about all we really expect. And that's about all they'll really remember.
Pre-jump procedures and equipment checks begin as the airplane ascends.
And they're thinking about it, you know, because you can see it in their eyes sometimes. Their eyes are just big, and they're just sweating, and they're just looking right through you.
At 6,000 feet, instructors conduct one last jump brief with their students.
What exactly you're going to do on this jump, how things are going to happen, make them comfortable by checking his altimeter, having them look at yours.
At 10,000 feet, a 2-minute warning and the bay door opens. At 12,000 feet, the class moves to the back of the plane.
Once you get them to the edge of the ramp, things change. You know, that's when reality hits for them.
At 12.5, it is game on. Today, 48 Special Ops warriors will make their very first military freefall jump. They have been training in simulators for this moment for the past week, but now it's for real. They are 2 miles up, and there is no going back. Army Ranger Corey Paul is stable as he leaves the plane, but his problem of spinning as he falls is even more pronounced here than it was in the wind tunnel.
They're going to get about 50 seconds of free fall. To them, it's going to seem like it's 3 or 4 seconds. They'll get on the ground. Oh, it happened so quick. I don't remember, except pulling, and hopefully they'll pull.
Adam Molson is one of the youngest, most inexperienced commandos here. On his first jump, will he live up to his reputation as the natural? As he did in the wind tunnel, Molson jumps to the head of the class with a near-perfect flight.
Okay, kick your legs, kick your leg.
Oh man, it was excellent. It was great. I went from 12,000 feet to the ground real quick.
It's a big rush. It's a big rush. So I'm having a ball.
None of the jitters left now. I just want to go jump again. Awesome. Probably so much better than the wind tunnel.
It was good. I dropped my ripcord though. Because when I did my pull sequence, I was just like, and then I let it go, and I was like, whoop, shouldn't have done that.
The adrenaline rush is so strong it can overwhelm new jumpers, and it's the instructor's job to keep them focused.
Instructors, they'll say this is game on. We don't know what we're going to get. Some of these guys that were awesome in the wind tunnel they're going to be problematic on this jump.
The first priority, to keep close watch and provide in-flight instruction.
It's like a hummingbird. The student is tumbling or spinning. There'll be an instructor casually come up and straighten the student out, fix him so the rest of his free fall is still a learning experience.
In order to stay with him, what you tend to do is you'll have to go head down, depending on how fast the student is. You have to match his fall rate in order to get to him. Once you get to him, then you have to get a hold of him. That can be the hard part. And I got to hold on to him in a place to where I'm not going to cause his parachute to open. And then after that, you can keep an eye on your altimeter and giving him hand signals as you need. Positive legs, relax, arch, those type of things.
An instructor keeps his hands free for signaling by steering mostly with his legs. It's a skill that distinguishes an experienced flyer from a novice. In a moment, he'll move to the ripcord side of the student. That's called being in the slot. Staying there is difficult because a wash from the trainee's body pushes the instructor away. But with expert flying, he'll stay close to stabilize a student if he tumbles or pull the ripcord if he fails to.
I've jumped with students that we videoed them, and you came in and said, how was that jump? Oh, sir, that was awesome. That was the best jump I've had. And I said, well, you spun 3 times. Oh, no, I didn't spin 3 times. Something else was going on, and they were concentrating on that, and this guy didn't realize that he had gone out and went around.
Dustin Miltenberger's account of his first jump is very different from that of instructor Doug Schmitz.
Oh, it's a blast. Just like they said, being relaxed is the key.
It's been nervous pretty much the whole time.
I had a lot of time up there. Got to do a couple of turns.
He failed to wave off.
Then once I pulled.
He didn't pull, so I pulled for him.
Hopefully they're all as fun as that one.
Mini tornadoes called dust devils kick up on the drop zone. Instructors put out smoke grenades to warn off jumpers. These intense whirling winds are a serious threat.
These erratic winds, they can feel it, they can collapse the side, it can lose air, it can turn you around and make you go 180 degrees the opposite direction.
We've had about 4 dust devils in the last 5 minutes, so if they get any worse, I'm gonna shut it down.
Not a bad first day at all. We've got a lot of jumps. The weather cooperated, the aircraft cooperated eventually, so we're doing good.
Navy parachute rigger Doug Homas had a great first jump. He's confronted his demons and conquered his fear of falling.
This was an awesome day. It was great. I had a blast. The exit out of the plane, because that's where your adrenaline just kicks up to 200%. Next thing you know, you're looking up and there's the plane flying away, and it's a great adrenaline rush. It's wonderful. It's getting better, it's getting more fun, and I'm looking forward to anything else. Still getting scared, but like I said, that's what keeps you alive.
This training epitomizes special operations. It's about courage because it's committing yourself to a mission. And in this case, your mission is to leap off from an airplane. You can't uncommit yourself once you leave that plane.
This first day was the ultimate test of trust and commitment. All have passed and are on their way to becoming Halo freefall warriors. This is a classroom, possibly the most dangerous in the world. The nation's elite commandos are training to freefall in a technique known as Halo. That's high-altitude jumps, low opening canopies.
It's a high-risk training. If things go wrong, people get killed.
They've had their first jump. Now training intensifies with uncontrolled spins, twisted lines, a near mid-air collision, and the terror of night week. Most will pass, some will fail. All will endure the anguish that comes with the death of a comrade.
You could die at any time in a Spec Ops team, and it happens more than what we'd like to have happen.
Today in Yuma, Arizona, these Special Operations Commandos leave the safety of an airplane and enter the world of military freefall.
Wind's gonna start coming down, wind's gonna start picking up.
They have just 14 days to become combat certified in one of the most sought-after skills in the military. Each day, training becomes more complex and challenging. They'll learn to fall to earth at an average of 150 miles per hour in tight groups. Oxygen masks will obscure their vision. Bulky combat gear and weapons will destabilize their flight. And then there's night week, when the entire training begins again from the top, this time in the dark.
This night jump's gonna be the same as your first jump, where your eyes are gonna be closed, just like the first one.
They are training to join Halo teams, the military's new smart weapon, designed to place American warriors behind enemy lines. Small teams of elite commandos jump at night from planes flying as high as 35,000 feet, beyond enemy detection. They freefall for miles and open chutes close to the ground to minimize exposure to enemy eyes. After they land, Halo teams call in airstrikes, rescue downed troopers, and infiltrate remote locations. The training for this mission began 2 weeks ago.
Your O2 bottle will hang.
At Fort Bragg, North Carolina, trainees learn to fly their bodies on classroom tabletops.
I would never let you get on a plane with this, all right?
They sweated over parachute packs and struggled to learn airborne maneuvers in the world's most powerful vertical wind tunnel.
For me, definitely the tunnel wasn't as nice to me as most people.
Just after dawn this morning, these warriors made their very first free fall jump.
that first jump going out, I think that'll always stick in my mind. Never done this before.
Students here represent the best of the armed services. Out of 44,000 special operators, these are the chosen few, training for a mission that redefines the way war is fought. Freefall School Commander Buck Dellinger knows the stakes are high for this class.
Mark that and then sign your name.
This is real life or death. They had it on in a crawl walk stage back at Fort Bragg, and now it's time to run. Right now, they're thinking about all the things that we've talked about for the last week. What if this happens? What if that happens?
Not all are nervous. Airman Adam Mulson was called the Natural for his ease in mastering the wind tunnel, and his first freefall jump is nearly perfect.
So I was turning in and they let me do a couple other things up there, so it was really fun.
What's that?
Sergeant Corey Paul hopes on this jump he can fix the spin that plagued his rides in the wind tunnel.
Nervousness and apprehensive, stomach and knots, and it's time to get it on, you know. I've been waiting so many years to do this.
Paul is relaxed on exit and gets his body parallel to Earth, but seconds into freefall, a familiar problem reappears.
Coming out here, pretty much was the same thing, you know, spinning uncontrollably, you know, pretty much moving like, you know, a leaf falling out of the sky, not really, you know, controlling myself.
If a halo jumper can't control his body in the air, he risks fatal collision with other flyers. To help students understand their freefall problems, the school uses video shot by instructors.
His right leg, he keeps bringing his right leg in real tight, and that's what's making him spin. And look at your body. See how bent your knees are?
Roger, backslide.
And now look at the angle your body is right there. See it right there? Why you're going backwards in that.
Look at your right arm too. Your right arm is back.
See how you're kind of going backwards in that.
Let's bring the arms in, elbows up.
It could save their life. A video could teach them what they're doing wrong because they see it. You don't have 360-degree eyeballs around somebody's body.
It's a Bonehead flat top pro helmet. Put your chin in there, kind of get it snug. You don't want it too tight because then when you ratchet the bone in place, it won't lock. So you get it snug, lock the ratchet down, reach up, hit the button, wait for the blue light. Blue light tells me I'm in standby. You just kind of put what you're looking at, kind of aim it, and whatever the crosshair's on is what the camera's gonna see. Every now and again, you might get hung up with something that is just so ridiculous that you just lose kind of time-space awareness. You might have a student that he comes out of the plane, he tumbles 6 times, goes into a violent spin, and you're just watching it thinking, I'm really glad I'm not him. And 20 seconds later, you realize, you know, I haven't looked at my altimeter in about 20 seconds. And the student's still tumbling and spinning, and you're just watching him. So you kind of have to really work to keep your awareness.
Look right here. See how flat your body is?
The video has helped instructor and trainee identify the problem. Now the question is, can they fix it?
Got a hold over there.
Hold it!
Corey Paul is not the only student experiencing difficulties. The first blast of wind on exiting the plane has been wreaking havoc on Jason Self.
I tumbled a little coming out, just not getting my legs up on my butt enough.
After a frustrating day, Self moves to an unlikely venue to do his homework and rehearse his exits.
It kind of simulates being on the edge of the ramp. Make sure you have a good arch, head up, because your body goes where your head looks. If you have your head down, you're gonna roll. And then arms out, straight in front of you, your feet up on your butt, coming out. My buddies could be there critiquing me, you know, usually very negatively.
Some of these airmen have no business critiquing their boss. But Adam Mulson does. He's the natural. Day 2 of military freefall school in Yuma, Arizona. Trainees face a brutal milestone, their first make-or-break examination.
Say it one more time. Said, oh yeah, I'm scared. Look at these guys, they're all scared.
The instructor's constant banter is designed to keep the class from overthinking the next set of jumps.
Kick your legs. Think back, think back. Do you guys remember the leg kicking class? No, because you didn't get one.
See, they don't give me plastic guns because they got hands like weapons, right? They got fingers like knives, knives like fingers. Whoa, whoa! What we want to try to do is get them to relax and let them know, hey, it's going to be all right, you'll be good. Start thinking about other things besides getting afraid of jumping. Because what's going to happen is they sit there and think about it, they'll think themselves right out of the jump.
Instructors, C-130 is in the sun.
I will not be muzzled, thank you.
It's day 2. Winds are currently 4 knots out of the east, typical morning out here at Yuma. The students are working on their 4th jump right now. They did 3 yesterday, and hopefully they'll get 3 today.
Captain Jason Self has tumbled twice on exit. On this jump, the training kicks in.
Awesome exit. No assistance, finally nailed that jump. All those practices paid off. When I jumped out, I just kept saying to myself, arch, look up, arch, look up. And I guess it worked, because Gunny Sergeant Schindler, once I scored away the exit and was falling, he was like, okay, all right.
Nailing the exit is just the beginning. The key to the first test is mid-air maneuvers. They'll turn left by deflecting wind off their right hand, arm, and right side of the body. They engage the same procedure on the opposite side. Trainees hold a fixed point in freefall by arching, relaxing, and letting the air flow evenly over their entire body. It's called maintaining a heading. These drills demonstrate they'll be able to maintain control when they freefall in formation with other jumpers. At 5,000 feet, they wave off to warn others they are about to pull their ripcord. At 4,000 feet, they pull. Once under canopy, jumpers fly their custom-designed ram air parachute to Earth at speeds up to 30 miles per hour.
The front or nose of the canopy actually has these cells. It will ram the air into the canopy and the tail is sewn shut.
Parachutists lose altitude by angling the wing nose down, reducing lift. Dipping the nose on one side of the wing allows for turns. Trainees land into the wind to slow their airspeed. If the wind is at their back, it could double their velocity, increasing the chances of a crash. They hit the brakes by flaring the nose up, causing the chute to climb slightly and lose forward speed. Just as the chute stalls, jumpers should be inches off the ground, able to control their landing. Precision counts. The landing target is a desert drop zone, surrounded by power lines and artillery ranges. Army Ranger Corey Paul, roster number 39, is still struggling with an unremitting spin.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
29. 29's good.
Back.
39's no good. 39's no good.
Not really, like feeling in control. You know, spin a little bit, but then I can kind of come out of it, and then I start spinning again, and it's kind of frustrating.
Marine Captain Robert Trzynski's problem is with his exit. He hasn't mastered that first blast of air.
You You're still contending with that relative error because you're traveling forward.
Corey Paul and Robert Trzynski head back to the terminal to prepare for their last chance jump, while other trainees move on.
Copy, jumpers away, stand by for canopy count and strike report.
On the next jump, a problem in the air.
Okay. There's two real low, there's two right above them.
Instructors spot a parachute without a body attached. Roster number 45, a Navy SEAL, cut away his main parachute and deployed his backup chute. The student is shaken, but instructors are relieved that he remembered his training.
Couldn't separate the lines from kicking. Lines were wrapped up. Checked my altimeter. Pulled again. Tried kicking a couple times. Spin kept picking up faster. That was it. Look, pull, grab, look, pull, grab. Okay.
Is right here, the rubber bands that control the stows either broke or were worn out to where they weren't holding the stows properly. As each stow, as a D-bag gets further away, releases one at a time. What we think happened is that they came out all at once, which as they hit the wind, caused tension knots and the suspension lines to twist.
Back at the terminal, Army Ranger Corey Paul and instructor Mike McGlamory take a moment on the sidewalk to fix his trouble in the air.
He's fine in the air, except he just can't stop the spin. And it's not really what I'd call a vicious spin. It's just a slow spin that he's not countering.
This retest jump is critical for both Corey Paul and Robert Trzynski. If they do not correct their problems now, they will be dropped from military freefall school. For Corey Paul, it's been a 10-year dream to come to this course. Robert Trzynski jumps first. A little shaky, but no backflip. The retest is a success.
That's all right. You cleaned up within 500 foot. Good job. Nice. Enjoy the jumps, all right? This is fun.
Corey Paul steps to the ramp and off into a perfect exit as usual.
So I saw the river, checked my altimeter, did my right turn. Came around, and then, checked my altimeter, did my 654, 6,000, cleared my airspace, 5,000, get my wave off, at 4,000, reached and pulled. Stable platform, flat, wasn't spinning, nothing, straight up. Parachute open, I was like, yeah, man, woo! I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes? No? Gotta look at video first.
Paul is confident he's passed, but his instructor has sobering news.
Totally, I would have gave you that one, but you did two. And then you weren't able to hold it, you did a turn. I think it was to the left. You had numerous there. We got it on video.
Oh, all right, we'll see when we get back. I felt real good. Closer.
Hey, stand at ease. We're having this meeting because we're recommending you for relief from the military freefall parachutist basic course. The rest of the course is starting their 2-on-1 jumps.
Roger.
You're already, you would be 3 jumps behind them right now.
Really sucks. Sucks bad, sir, but...
If someone can't reach the standards by grade exercise 1 with a retest, a retrain and a retest...
These are all type A+ personalities. They've never failed at anything in their life. They don't expect to fail when they come here, but for the ones we drop, it's going to be difficult for them.
And one of the coolest courses the Army has to offer. Got in finally after years wanting to be here, and then now I'm not in the course anymore. You're asking like how I feel. I really frustrated, you know, and not, you know, at anyone in particular. You know, it might sound corny. People are like, yeah, whatever, man. You just got kicked in, you know, in the stomach, and you're gonna like smile and keep driving on. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
At dawn the next morning, Corey Paul heads back to his old job, his wife, and his family in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The same morning Corey Paul is dropped from military freefall, the school shuts down. Students are ordered to gather in the terminal.
The one thing I noticed when I got there was the parking lot was kind of empty. So something's not right. And we walked in and they brought us around in a group. So Major Dillinger at that point came to us, and that's when he told us that there'd been the fatality.
At 9:30 p.m. the previous night, Sergeant Shane Raker, an instructor for an advanced school, was killed on the very last jump of training. He landed hard and broke his neck, a dreadful accident for such an accomplished instructor.
We've got a prepared statement. On the evening of 19 May, the military freefall school suffered the loss of one of our finest instructors, Sergeant First Class Shane Raker. It was their last jump in that course. It was a culminating event, and it was an airborne operation from exit altitude of 12,500 feet.
The schools are shut down immediately. Commander Buck Dellinger begins managing fallout from the tragedy.
We determined the equipment wasn't at fault. And then was training at fault? Was there a criminal situation? So right off the bat, 3 different investigations start. The investigative teams were busy, very busy. Interviews were going on 24 hours a day.
I've lost a friend, and I can tell you that it does get to you. You do think about it. You know, you kind of take a look at your life, and you kind of wonder, you know, is this really what I want? Is this what I'm doing? The right thing? Is this what I'm meant to do?
We've all got to go back in tomorrow and get in an aircraft and jump out. And the students are on their 7th, 8th jump, and now they'll be thinking about this. And myself, I've seen at least 4 people go in. 10 minutes later, I crawled on the plane. I had to. Because you don't want to think about it all night. Just get back in the sky. I mean, you could die at any time in the Spec Ops team, and it happens more than what we'd like to have happen.
Trying to keep up a positive facade for the students, for the other instructors, always maintaining strength as well as you can, but at the same time not suppressing the empathy so much that people think you're not human. And so that was it's all been difficult, and maybe the most difficult stage has not even hit yet.
At dawn, students and instructors assemble in the drop zone for a memorial to Sergeant Raker.
Yeah.